The Angels 2014. The Angels, world champions.
Oh, and first pitch crushing.
Hey, it's Todd Fox from Halos in the Infield here on the podcast form to let you know happy Father's Day. It's that Sunday, Father's Day during the regular season. I am Todd Fox, your fearless leader, along with the other fearless leader on the show.
Hey, what's up? It's James. I know it's been a while since I've been on podcast, but happy to be here, breaking down the series that was the 5-game series with the Mariners, and then previewing the 3-game series with the Kansas City Royals.
Exactly. We're going to jump into these 2 series, like you said. But first, give us a 5-star if you can on the podcast. It really helps us out. Or check us out on YouTube, subscribe, or even give us a shout out over on Instagram. We always respond no matter what, so good or bad. But yeah, let's talk about, first off, the struggles of the Angels over the last, I'd say, 20 games prior to the Mariners series. Your impressions, bro, on the 14-game losing streak.
I'll tell you what, I didn't expect that. I thought, okay, maybe they'll lose 7 or 6, and then they'll get back on the winning track, win a couple here, and then lose 3 more. But no, they just found so many ways to blow game or get blown out, whatever the case was. And the fact that it spanned through, some homestands, some road trips, that didn't feel good. That game, especially to finish the Philadelphia series, where Harper hit the game-tying grand slam, and then Mickey Moniak, who's in AAA for Philadelphia, won the game. That was really the low point, to the fact that what was that? That was 12 in a row at that one point, or 13. Mm-hmm. Literally, I was laughing after every loss, I think after like 9 games. But that last game against Philadelphia, I was livid. I didn't want to throw anything or whatever. It just wasn't worth it. But after every loss, when they were playing Boston, I was just like, I just started to laugh, thinking, oh, it's going to get much worse. It's going to get much worse.
I was just hoping. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Against the Mets, I was hoping, okay, maybe they'll take 2 out of 3, but New York is too strong. The Dodgers series, they were in every game except, the second one. By the way, your post-game rants, they're much needed. No one else does that, where they say, hey, this team should be better, fire the, you keep beating the same drum and nothing gets done about the hitting coach. Mm-hmm. I mean, every single post game, you're on it. Even if they win too, you're like, "Hey, Jimmy Reed, Paul Sorrento sucks." So I'll tell you what, I didn't know what to expect coming into this Seattle series, but we were here.
Well, I appreciate you summing that up, because there was a couple games in there where they could have broke the slump. And just for whatever reason, it didn't go their way. They didn't get the hit. They gave up a hit, like you said, the home run. The Dodgers series, I think, was a low point for me because, I hate losing to them no matter what. And, losing the first game outright, and then the second one, you stand there with an opportunity, or the first one, you stand there with an opportunity to get the hit and you don't do anything. I mean, that was severely frustrating. I think I blew my top in that post game. And then the second one was just unbelievable, because it's like, okay, how low can this team go? Well, they're about ready to get no hit. And they fortunately broke it up and scored a run as well, spoiling the shutout. But 6 times in that losing streak and in that stretch out of 19 games, they were only limited to 1 run. And 3 times they were shut out, and they've been shut out 5 times this season, and they've only scored 1 run 9 times. So that's pretty pathetic. And so that's why I've been beating the drum about, Reed and Sorrento getting fired and getting their walking papers. Walking into this series, no pun intended, we figured Seattle's second worst hitting team in all of baseball, and only to Oakland, who Oakland purged their team, as well-known story. But coming off that 14-game losing streak, I'm watching these other teams like Philly after they fired Girardi winning 12 out of 14, or I think it's like 10 out of something, 13 or whatever. And then you see the Atlanta Braves winning 13 games before they finally lost. You're like, damn, I want the Angels to get on the right side of that. Like those teams are doing the right things. The Angels weren't. So with that being said, spoiler alert, they won 4 out of 5. Do you think this is the beginning of a start of a turnaround for the Angels? Before we get into
I'm looking at the schedule, and it seems like it's more favorable, right? Because right now you play the Mariners for 8. You already played them for 5, 3 left. You have Kansas City. You have Chicago, and they're going through a lot of stuff. The White Sox. I mean, if you want to look that up, basically, it's like the manager should have been fired. There's players glad that they're leaving. There's on the field issues, off the field issues. It's just awful. And then Houston comes in, and then you play Miami, then you play Baltimore, then Houston and the Dodgers. So I know the Angels aren't really doing well, but hey, you got to take care of those games against lower opponents. Even though we are one of those, you still got to beat those people. You got to sweep them, honestly, to get back into things, or else this season is over.
I totally agree. They've dug themselves quite the hole, but it's not hopeless. And since the last time we were on, as far as a podcast form, Anthony Rendon is now down for the entire rest of the season. And so before we get into the Seattle series, let's get a quick take on this. I want your take on this because I've been jawing back and forth with all the Halo honks that are just like, hey, stop blaming him. He's hurt, surgery. You can't avoid that. But I've seen millions of players come through in different sports and play through injuries. And they say, well, he played through the hip last year. Okay, well, whatever. Let's not count his injury time that he's been down. Let's just say that he's not been injured, but let's just count his games. Has Rendon put up numbers comparable to the contract that he signed?
No, and I think nobody does that with their contract. I mean, maybe Manny Machado with San Diego, and it wasn't right away. It wasn't until the second half of his first season when we saw the numbers really grow.
Yeah.
But when you think about Rendon, it's just the same thing over and over again. I worry about him coming back next year. By the way, hi, son. Oh no, she's great. I know
she's awesome.
And whatever, and the comments come in and whatever, and I want to play it down the middle, of course, and say, I feel confident he'll be back or whatnot. But it just seems like he's, like you always say in the post games and all the comments, it's just there's something about his body is deteriorating. There's something soft about it where it's like, hey, this is going to break down. If it's not that, it's going to be this. It's going to be everything at one point, to the point where it's like, hey, that 2019 year, he was going for the money and he got it. The Angels just happened to be the sucker who paid for it. And to have him not on the field again, and you could tell when he was injured the first time this year, they went on that losing streak. He might have been that important to the ball club when they were 10 games above 500.
Could be.
Just having Stallworth there at third base playing great defense. He does throw high sometimes, but the hitting was there. If it wasn't home runs, it was solid, line drives down the left field line for doubles that brought in runs. You're not going to have that now. Now you have to replace that. The money side of it is saying, hey, he's supposed to be there. And I think he's taking it so easy. It's like, bro, I got my money. I'm good. I'm good. Like if I get any little injury, I'm done. That's how I see it. But you're gonna have the people out there like the honks, which I generally dislike, where they say, "Oh, don't worry. He'll be back next year." Like we said, the revenge tour. This last post game of 2023, he said, "Hey, he'll be back. Don't worry. It's not his fault. But it's kind of I remember making a post on my old Facebook that's gone now, saying, "Hey, I'm really worried about Rendon because he doesn't even like watching the game of baseball. He seems to barely care about playing it. When he does, it's nonchalant.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't really show any heart, any fire, any desire. But man, he got paid like he should." And that's the unfortunate thing. You're going to have people on both sides of him, of his fandom, say, "Hey, he's a great guy, but he doesn't care." So it's like judging those two. Of course, on my pregame show, I have to go down the middle and say, "Oh, hopefully he'll be back next year, healthy again." But in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, "Oh no, it's going to happen again next year." And what does he have? Like 2-3 more years left of this contract? So
4.
no way.
Yeah, 4.
So if I had to take a bet saying he'll be healthy for all 4 years, where he won't be out for a whole season after like 3 months, all those 4 years, I wouldn't take it. Like
It's
I'd bet the under on that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, the Angels, I think, would be thrilled and giddy like a schoolgirl if he played 4 complete years after this year's season. But my thoughts on Rendon, real quick. You've heard him on the post game. I'm frustrated as hell. I would love for him to be in there. There's no doubt the team's better with him in there. But I think Perry made a comment in the offseason with the new additions to the team and also all the draft picks. He said that we're looking for high quality people and we're looking for people that follow our ambition and want to do the Angel way, which again, people make fun of that term, the Angel way, but I think it stands for something different nowadays. And I think Perry's got a mindset of the type of people he's looking for. So I doubt if Perry would have interviewed Rendon for that contract that he would have signed him. I think he would have saw those red flags and said, "Hey, well, look, this guy's pretty nonchalant. He doesn't. Baseball is just natural to him. It's not really a love of the game. He doesn't have that love. Doesn't have a love to play the game. It's just it is what it is. It's a job to him." I don't think Perry would have signed him. So I think moving forward, we're going to see more of guys that fit what Perry wants. And, he's unfortunately stuck with Rendon for another at least 3 years. I don't think he'll cut him anytime soon before that. But, we're stuck with him at third base. And then now it's going to come down to who do we replace him with? Do we go out of market to another team, or do we freaking stay in house and try to use like a Stefanik and move a guy to third, or move Stefanik to third? So there's a lot of options in house, but I think there might be this time to just go out and make a trade. So, but we'll see. It's definitely frustrating, and it's not going to help the Angels come back. That's for sure. So that being said, the Angels moved up to Seattle for a 5-game series, playing 5 games because that first week of the season, you have to use a doubleheader to make up for the first week that was lost between Oakland and Seattle. How'd they do in that first game?
The Angel way? We had a way.
Yeah, there you go.
About that. We had one. The Angels came in at 29-35. The Mariners at 28-36. Third place and fourth place in the AL West, respectively. The Angels won 4-1. Shohei Ohtani went to 5-4. Kirby got the loss. Iglesias got his 13th save. Got to talk about Ohtani. He finally had a start where he didn't allow runs.
Mm-hmm.
It would have been great if he allowed only maybe 1 or 2. But the bonus, after all those bad starts in a row, on the road trip, that he only gave up 3 hits, no earned runs, 2 walks, 6 strikeouts. And then the bullpen consecutively, other from Ryan Tepera, who did not like the certain baseballs that he was throwing them back. It reminded me of the mad Hungarian Al Grabowski at Dodger Stadium back in, I think it was the late 70s. He was facing Reggie Smith, and he kept throwing the balls back to the umpire and then throwing them toward the dugout. The umpire just threw 2 balls back at Grabowski. So that was weird about Tepera, and you could tell he's mentally, there's something weird about him when he's out there. When things aren't going his way, he'll kind of have an episode like that. Maybe it'll get worse down the line as the season goes on, where the pressure gets more revved up, but we'll see. He's the only one that gave up a run in that game to Para. Kirby went 6 innings as well, but gave up 6 runs, or 6 hits, 2 runs. Sergio Romo, which he keeps finding roster spots around the league on the West Coast mainly, he gave up 2 runs. Mike Trout had the home run back in the 3rd inning, and then in the 7th inning off Romo. So basically, it was Mike Trout 4, the Mariners 1 in Thursday's game. And it was good to see Mike Trout kind of break out of a little slump. Well, I should say a big slump, because he suspected so much. And I think everybody was realizing, like, hey, he's not doing so well. And it showed in the LA series and the other series before that. And I think we always mention it too. Whenever he goes up to Seattle, he owns the Mariners, and he showed it hitting the two-run home runs on Thursday.
He did, and that was the thing that was kind of bittersweet about that game. I did like you said, Mike Trout getting out of the slump. I did like Shohei Ohtani's start. I did like how the bullpen was used finally as it was constructed. Loop 7, 8th Tepera, 9th freaking Iglesias. That's how it should have been. That's how it should have stayed. And so Nevin got that right. They got the save. But I was just disappointed with, again, the hitting. If it wasn't Mike Trout, they would have lost that game 1-0. It was very disappointing that they got left 8 more men on base. They struck out almost double digit again. And besides Trout again, he was the only dude doing anything. So that was my take out of that game before we get into the next one.
Yeah, so Thursday they got their 30th win. Then Friday came, and all the doubts and just the bad things that happened on Friday. The Mariners ended up winning 8-1. Robbie Ray got the win. He goes to 6-6. Michael Lorenzen didn't look well. His first inning was his kryptonite, as it's been pretty much all season long. He went to 6-4 on the year. Lorenzen, he did go 5 innings though, and his bad starts, even that one in Philadelphia, he had a bad start to the start, but he would, collectively go 5 or 6 innings at least, and give your bullpen, a little more time to get ready for sure.
That's why I like him in Sandoval. I'm sorry. That's why I like him in Sandoval. They'll do that. They'll have rough outings, but they'll give you at least 5 or 6.
Yeah, and that's all you ask. The bullpen gets tapped, especially nowadays. There's no more Nolan Ryans or, Randy Johnsons to go out there and pitch all 8 or 9. Lorenzen, though, went 5 innings. He gave up 7 hits and 7 earned runs, 3 walks, 3 strikeouts, and 1 home run. Adam Warren finally made an appearance. He had 2 innings. He did give up 3 hits and 1 earned run. He struck out 2. So it was good to see him.
Yeah.
Robbie Ray, he looked pretty well. He had a no-hitter, I think, going into the 6th inning. Stassi broke that up. Robbie Ray went 7 innings, 3 hits, 1 earned run, 1 walk. He struck out 10 halos. He was just amazing.
Yeah, again, well, I don't – right now with the way the Angels are hitting, striking out 10 Angels is kind of low. So if you strike out about 15 or 16, I'd be like, all right, you're onto something. You pitched really good tonight. But, yeah, I mean, they literally – I mean, maybe a Kerry Wood start, but they literally almost got no hit twice in 1 week, in less than a week, actually. So that was pretty pathetic in that game. Out of that game, I took the fact that again, it looked like back to basics, back to the same bullshit. And I was pretty pissed at that. I didn't even do a post game that night because I was like, dude, why 8-1? I mean, they didn't give a funk. I didn't give a funk. So that's why I took a night off that night.
And I went to sleep early. That's why I couldn't do the post game. I had to get up the next morning. By the way, that the main play of that game, let's just say Ty France had the bases clearing double, Raleigh homered. It was just one of those forgetful nights, and it seems like the month of June for the Angels, there's been a lot of forgetful nights.
Yeah, by the
Saturday. Okay.
I was just gonna say last week in May and all of June so far has been pretty forgettable.
Yep. Saturday was a doubleheader starting at 1 o'clock. Seattle Mariners had their Negro League uniforms from, I think, 1946, I want to say.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought that was really cool to say, or see, I should say. The Angels won 4-2. They got their 31st win. Iglesias was able to get the win. Castillo got the loss for Seattle, and Cajada got the save for the Angels. But this was one of those bad luck games, I would say, for Patrick Sandoval.
Yep.
He went 6 innings, four hits, 1 run, 2 walks, and 5 strikeouts. He did give up 1 home run to Dylan Moore, but that should be good enough to win. Your offense should score enough for your starter to get that win. Luke did come in, but Bradley blew the game, blew the save, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Tepera was used, Iglesias, Quijada. The starter for Seattle, Chris Flexen, he went 5 1/3, give up 6 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts. But after that, until Castillo, Munoz came in, and Munoz, I gotta talk about him real quick. Andres Munoz, this guy is electric, and I saw him in spring training, and then one of the first series against the White Sox, and his stuff was just amazing. But sometimes it could be erratic. But look out for him on the weekend series in Anaheim. Coming out of the bullpen, he's like a 7th-inning guy, but in the future he'll be definitely more. Suzuki was able to bring in. No, he had 2 double. He brought in 3, if you can believe that. Mike Trout had a home run, the 3rd of the series, and there's more coming up. Morgan Rodriguez for Seattle had the RBIs for Seattle, but just a shocker. Suzuki had 2 RBIs. It was just a shocker to see Kurt Suzuki contribute to the 4-2 win. It wasn't all Mike Trout for once.
Yeah, it was. He got his 1 hit for the month or week or whatever you want to call it. He's pretty pathetic. He's another guy that should be off the team, and I got another guy I'm gonna rag on. He's my Rendon coming up here, but he came through with a 2-run double, and again, Sandoval, like you said, he's been a hard luck loser. He'll pitch a really phenomenal game, only give up 1 or 2 runs, should be enough to win. Even I've seen him pitch where he gives up 4 runs in 6 innings, but it's still good enough to win, or at least leave with a tie and gets an L because his offense can't do shit. So this game was no different, a little more frustrating because, like you said, Luke gave up the run. But then the 10th inning came around, and I'm thinking, okay, we're 7-15 all time in the stupid runner at second extra inning rule. And I was thinking we're going to lose because we had the runner at second, the first guy strikes out, the next guy flies out, runners at third with 2 outs, and then you got Trout up, and I'm thinking, okay, just try to get a single, and he belts a 2-run homer. So that's what you want as a road team, to get the 2 runs, because if you knock that 1 run in, most good teams, unlike the Angels, if they're at the home team in the extra innings, they'll play for the tie, and then if they get the extra run, then that's a bonus. But for most part, you want to take a 2-run lead and put more pressure on the road team as they come in. And I felt they did a really good job of that. And the Mariners did not do anything in the bottom of the 10th. They stranded their run. And, the Mariners, again, for all that they put together in the offseason, the trade with Cincinnati and everything, I really thought they were going to have a boost in that offense. And right now they're still dormant as hell. They have not been able to fire on any cylinders so far this year.
Yeah, Suarez and I forget the other guy.
Winky or whatever?
Yeah, Winkler. I thought both would flourish there. I thought that'd be the 2 perfect guys, but
to go along with Crawford.
Yeah, Crawford not hitting so well. I think their bright spot in Seattle is Rodriguez. I mean, this dude, he could do everything. Still, he can get on base, he can hit. He's basically the guy that they're banking on for the future.
And Ty France.
Ty France as well. But man, it seems like they've had a list of guys that they say, "Hey, we're gonna we're going to rally around this guy and he's going to lead us back to the playoffs. But maybe Rodriguez, the center fielder, will be that guy. So the second game of the doubleheader on June 18th was 3-0 Angel win. Can you believe it? It's a winning streak. They get their 32nd win. The Mariners get their 38th loss. The win goes to Jimmy Herget. He did very well in the cleanup. The loss goes to Tommy Malone. It just sounds like an 80s, jersey name.
It does.
The save goes to Archie Bradley.
Yes.
Sounds like a Happy Days name. Talk about Jose Suarez. I remember he would do that thing. He would, with his catcher last year, when he would have the nose put up like 4, 3, 2. Now they have the that system in their heads. But anyway, he went 4 1/3, 4 hits, 3 walks, and 7 strikeouts. And that's always the thing with Suarez. But this time he didn't give up any runs. But you get your number of hits, you get your number of strikeouts, you get your number of walks, and usually some runs. That's been his thing ever since he came up with the Angels. Starting games, it's just, I want one start where, hey, he has maybe 1 or none walks, and okay, strike out 7, that's fine. But yeah, you give the win to Herget. He definitely earned it. He went 3 2/3, just 1 hit ball and 1 strikeout. I mean, he did the job. No walk, no runs. Bradley gets the second save there in the 9th inning. For Seattle, it was a bullpen game. Murphy went 2 innings. He didn't give up any runs, but Malone came in with 1 run given up in 4 innings. And then Sergio Romo made another appearance and gave up 2 runs. And his ERA has bloomed all the way to 8.16. And, I'm just wondering if, I know he's been around. I just wonder, maybe this is Romo's last stop. But it was encouraging to see Luis Rengifo get 2 doubles. I mean, I never expect him to hit anything, honestly. Mike Trout hit a solo home run, his 20th. Walsh hit his 12th off of Romo. For the Mariners, Rodriguez had a couple of doubles showing that speed. I mean, he's deadly around the bases. So, again, the Angels get their 32nd win on Saturday, the second game of that doubleheader, 3-0.
Yeah, sweeping the doubleheader was very nice, but again, bittersweet for me again because, you don't score that many runs. And again, it was 1-0, a tight game until McKinnon, who started the game, Thor's little brother, looks like, that they kept saying that on Twitter. He did a good job. I mean, he just missed getting a first hit. He's a very patient hitter. He's a career 349 minor league hitter. And he's come through the system. He's one of those outside shots, 30th round pick, and he's here. Only problem is he plays DH in first base. He did a hell of a job making 2 fantastic plays at first base, but it was Walsh that came in a pinch hit situation in his spot to hit the 2-run homer to extend the lead to 3-0. Like you said, the bullpen did the job at the end. It was Herget who was just on fire, and he's been with about 1 or 2 hiccups he's had. He's been solid all season, and he just works through a lineup. He has a herky-jerky delivery, great breaking pitches, and he had the Mariners fooled all night, and Bradley went in there, went 1, 2, 3. So that was really good to see that they got to rest the big guns in game 2 and then have them set for Sunday. One other thing I'll say about Suarez is I've only seen him pitch, I think, once or twice this season into the 5th and 6th inning. I wish he would get that far, but he does, like you said, mess around the plate too much, have too many walks. He just doesn't seem to have that out strike pitch. You know what I mean? That one that could just knock you out after getting ahead. Because he does get ahead on certain players, but like you say, he walks a lot of guys. So his pitch count will be fairly high, and they don't like him going more than 87 from what I've seen. They're not going to let him pitch triple digits for sure. So if he's going to have to, if he wants to go longer into games, he's got to manage his pitches a lot better, and he hasn't done that quite yet. So, but all in all, a good victory, but you still feel that they left something on the field.
Yeah, And then we go to Sunday, and I couldn't believe it. The Angels are on a winning streak. I count after 2 is a winning streak for me, and I couldn't believe it. The Angels had 2 shutouts in a row.
Yep.
They get the 33rd win on Sunday here, 4-0. They go to second place. They overclimb the Rangers. I think the Angels are still thinking back at first place. I think there's so much time left, but still, I think wild card is the only way. Good man Kenny Rosenberg started for the Angels today. He had 4 2/3 innings, 2 hits, 3 walks, and 1 strikeout. Quijada came in, and Wantz got the win. Luke got the hold. And then a non-safe situation, which kind of scared me. Iglesias came in, but he got 1 strikeout, just like Tepera did in the 8th inning. So that was good on the Angels pitching side. Gilbert got the loss for the Mariners. He went 6 innings, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, 6 strikeouts, and 1 home run given up to Mike Trout.
Yeah.
It seemed like a theme. What was it? 4 home runs in the 5 games for Mike Trout.
5 home runs.
5 home runs. Yeah, 5 of 5. So he's up to 21. Stassi had his 6th double. Just good to see. And then finally, Justin Upton did something against his old team with Seattle. He had a double today against Rosenberg early. But when you think about it, only 2 hits given up. Upton and Crawford only had those 2 for Seattle. That was really encouraging to see closing out this series and taking 4 out of 5, which sounds weird, but that's what happened. Special circumstance. But yeah, when you take 4 out of 5, you only lose 1 game in a series. That's very encouraging, no matter who you play, because Angels need all the games that they can get.
I agree. This is a much needed series. They had to win. I didn't want to see a 2-3 set or something like that. But, my takes out of this game was the Trout home run was nice again. But the inning I loved was that Stassi hit. You know what I mean? You got a leadoff hit by Renifo. He beat the shift. And then Stassi poked one over the second base, and it rolled all the way. So it wasn't a deep drive off the wall. He hit a legitimate line drive that got to the gap. Renifo scored from first, and Stassi went to second. Then Marsh comes up and promptly hits a line driver against the shift again, and away from the shift. And I love it. That's what those 3 hits in a row. I was deeply encouraged. I was like, all right, they're putting together a little hitting spot. This is what you need. This is exciting. I like this kind of ball. And then I realized who was up next. And it was Andrew Velasquez. And for like the umpteenth time, he struck out again. And that would be his 3rd of the night. And then he would wind up finishing. He's like, no. Hat trick is nice, but I want my golden sombrero. And believe it, all that hard work paid off, and he got his golden sombrero. 4 strikeouts for the golden boy and 4 men left on base. I'm fed up with Mr. Andrew Velasquez. I'm done with the guy. I'm tired of hearing about his defense. I still think Duffy, Captain Jack, Renifo, whoever you want to put at shortstop, even when Fletcher comes back, even if their defense falls off and is not as close to being as good as Velasquez, give me whoever you can, because I want some goddamn hits and walks, and you're not going to get anything from Velasquez because of 2 reasons. Jeremy Reed and Sorrento not helping him, and he appears to be too damn stubborn to change his approach to the plate. He's not shortening up. He's not putting the barrel on the ball. He just continues the fucking launch angle, and it's going absolutely nowhere.
That's where I wish that 1980 style baseball would come in, like 70s, where it's like, hey, just go for a line drive, beat the shifts, or put it over the heads of the out or the infield. Use that 5.5 hole. Don't try to be a hero. And I know you ranted on it when he hit the home run, how he looked back toward the dugout. You felt a way about that.
I sure did. I mean, even though that was the home run that beat the streak, I was like, really, asshole? Just run around the bases and get in the dugout.
act like you've been there before, but he hasn't really had a chance to run the bases like that.
Well, that's the thing. Act like you've been there, but you haven't been there before. So if that's like your first time or second time, just hey, run around the bases. When you get to the dugout, then you could celebrate, throw the hat on, do the handshakes, whatever. I just felt that was inappropriate. I was like, come on, man. Geez, if you're hitting 300 and you don't have any home runs and you hit one, okay, that's funny. That's cool. That's great because you're producing. You haven't produced shit, man. Don't act like you have been producing. That's what my whole thing was.
Now, I think there's someone on our staff who loves Yunel Escobar, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I can remember him making this foul catch, and he did a little hop after, but the Angels were down like 5 runs, and I felt kind of offended after that. It reminded me of the game I went to, and he did that. I was like, wait, you're down 5 runs. Why are you like hopping around, skipping around after you made like a foul catch? And that kind of reminded me of your feeling with Velasquez there. And then Velasquez, he kind of reminds me of the Adrian Brody character in Angels in the Outfield.
Mm-hmm.
And the announcer basically says, hey, he's known for his glove, but not for his bat. And every time I hear that, I see Velasquez. And then, maybe they need an Angel, with him batting, and the ball would just go, all around, and he'll be able to score something all the way home. But
I heard Christopher Lloyd still lives in Santa Barbara, so he's not that far. Got to bring him down.
It's good that he's still living, to be honest with you. So to sum up, the Angels won 4 out of 5 in Seattle. Now they're back home for a, do math, 9-game homestand, which features the Royals, the Mariners with a day off on Thursday, Seattle there, and then 3 there with the Chicago White Sox. And they're a story by itself. The Royals, however, they've been in the Bay Area doing who knows what. They lost 2 out of 3 to the San Francisco Giants last week. And then this weekend, they take 2 out of 3 in Oakland. So, and they lost today 4-0, I should say, in the last game of that series. I can say they're playing better ball as of late, but their record is 23-42. The Angels are 33-36. And tomorrow, June 20th, Monday, this last name is kind of fun. His ERA is not. Chris Bubbick. I was almost going to say something else. Left-handed number 50. He's 0-4 with the 8.36 ERA. He struck out, however, 24. But that ERA is just wild. Noah Syndergaard will be the starter for the Angels. He's 4-5 with a 3.3 ERA and 35 strikeouts.
Okay, I like that on paper, but will it happen, or are we going to get like a no-hit bid again? Because damn, that would piss me off, dude. Because I'm looking right here to see who Kansas City throws in the other games. It's like you said, Bubik, Heasley, and Lynch. So we're not going to have to face Greinke, who no matter what, he pitches good against us.
He's my dad would call him a space cadet. Anyway.
Yeah. So
yeah.
Oh, I was just saying. So yeah, I like our chances in this series. I think I'm gonna do my inner Rally Chris and say 2 out of 3 is the way to go. But I think we can sweep. I like our chances against. Yeah.
Yeah, you have Detmers going Tuesday against Heasley, and Heasley's only 1-3. You hope Detmers, he can find that touch again. Wednesday, I'll get to the activities before the game after the starting pitching preview. It's going to be a very special night. I'm hoping I can make it out. Daniel Litch will be starting. He's also another left-hander, so the Angels are getting 2 out of 3 left-handers. No. Shohei Ohtani will be going.
Sheho?
Sheho. Yeah, that should be his name.
Sheho.
There you go. He'll be going Wednesday just to add a little flame to that fire on Wednesday. Quickly, the 22nd, they'll have a 20th year anniversary of the World Series championship. Again, probably the best birthday I've ever had was the gift, I could say, was them winning in 2002. And to see all those guys there again, that's going to be amazing. If I don't go, I'm going to try to watch it from work somehow or listen to it. That's always special. I missed the 10-year one in 2012, unfortunately. But I know that was special. And then to see all those guys together again, whoever will make it, I know that's going to be special. Now, one question was posed to me the other day about Wednesday's ceremony. By the way, the game will probably start instead of at 6:38. It'll probably be around 6:50, 7 o'clock.
Yeah.
For the ceremony, I'm guessing. At 6:49, honestly. So give it 11 more minutes for first pitch. Will Joe Madden be there? That's what I'm wondering.
I heard he's going to be there.
Yeah.
So that's going to be that's going to be a little weird, dude. It's like seeing your ex again in front of your new girlfriend. You're like, so yeah, it's going to be a little weird. Well, with that being said, like the 2002, like I can't wait to see guys like Salmon, Erstad, Anderson, Percival. Hopefully they're there. Spezio's a guy I really want to see. I know Benji Molina's working with St. Louis right now. He's trying to get in the broadcast booth with the Cardinals. I was really hoping he'd come on our show. I offered him, but he said obligations with the Cardinals prohibited him. But yeah, I think we're on a good spot to hopefully get what we need here coming out of this series, because it'll be nice to go down memory lane and then the Angels winning at the same time again and hopefully catching some of that 0-2 magic that Angel fans always go back to when we start losing. So especially the Hawks.
Yeah, there's no Darren Erstad here.
Not.
Line drive hitting is out of the realm. Hopefully Wednesday we could talk about a possible sweep for that ceremony.
That would be nice.
Dessert before the game. That'd be awesome. Really quick, the standings: Angels are 9.5 out in second place. Wild card, I believe it was 4.5 out. I guess that's the only attainable goal as of now.
Yeah, because now we have two teams to jump. We have Ohio and Boston.
Yeah, and Ohio, as you say, they beat. I think they took 2 out of 3 from LA. To be honest with you.
Yeah, they scored 3 in the 9th against Kimbrel today.
That's why I was hearing the bad words about Kimbrel.
Yeah,
the Angels 4.5 out. White Sox are 4, despite everything they've been through. They lost tonight against Houston. The Red Sox a half game back. Toronto, Cleveland, and Tampa Bay are all first 3 wild cards. It's amazing what Cleveland has done. Boston back in the flame, and Chicago still in it. But you got to watch out for Texas and even Baltimore now. It's crazy to say, but that's how far the Angels have fallen back.
Yeah, they just got to take care of what's in front of them. I always say, man, let's just get back to 500, get over 500, and then we'll see where we're at from there. And then just play every team ahead of you and try to win series, man. That's all they can do. So I think that'll wrap things up for the show. So, yeah, because I know you probably got another engagement here in about 15 minutes. So any final thoughts on the Angels moving forward through this week or what happened with Seattle?
Like I mentioned, it was encouraging with Seattle. Again, Trout on Father's Day, showing who their daddy was, and still will be. And hopefully those good vibrations will head into this series and this homestand, which the Angels really need. As I look 9 games, right? They really need to take 7 or 8 on to get back in the thick of things. The teams in front of them have to fall as well. But in order for this homestand to be good, for the Angels to come back, they got to take 7 out of the 9, to be honest. So, hey, man, thank you for having me on. Your background is pretty cool with all the logos. I can't wait for the throwback weekend in July.
Me too.
That'd be awesome.
We got to go to those games, my man.
Oh, sure. Friday has the giveaway, and yeah, sure.
All right, brother. Well, that's the big, what is it called? Big Game James from all sorts of networks. He's all over the place, and he's talking Raider football, Angels baseball, all kinds of stuff. He even mixes some NBA and maybe some WNBA horse racing in there from time to time. But but anyway, thanks for coming on, man, and filling in for our boy Fernando. He'll be back on hopefully sometime this week, and might have you on. And just keep in mind in the next 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks, because Fernando is going to be out of town, getting married and moving. So might need a little filling in here and there. So keep your options open if you could for me. Yeah.
I'll write it down.
All right. All right, bro. Have a good one, man.
Okay, thank you.